I have come to accept that I love working and I don't need to judge myself for that or take in other people's judgment on how much I should quote do. Like this is my life and this is what I like doing.
Because I'd never heard of you before, and I was like, hey, this guy's popping up all over my YouTube all of a sudden. What the hell is going on? And B, he's saying that this gym, I don't know, I called it a course, which actually is incorrect.
Yeah.
So
there's
I'll
like
love for
there's
you
one, if there's like one thing that I could make just for the almost for the audience's sake, because like we're much closer to what a franchise would be. And overall, in the very beginning, that was what the big decision was. Like, am I going to go the franchise route? Because I had 6 working locations. I was 26 years old, and they worked. And that's when a mentor was like, you should stop owning all these gyms. You need to license the model out. And so that was when I kind of transitioned from B2C to B2B. What you might not know is that for 2 years, I actually, because I wasn't confident, I was like, I know it works in my 6 markets. I was like, but does it work in all of these markets? So my wife and I actually did 32 gym turnarounds in the next 2 years. So we'd fly out in person, fix their pricing, change how they did their layout, change their sales process.
just like a consultant, like a management consultant for a gym.
It's exactly that. And then from there, we figured out, we cleaned it up to just like completely dial it in. And then I would love to say it was some stroke of brilliance of like, and then in my master plan, I decided to start licensing. That was not what happened. We ended up doing these launches, and the flaw of the business model was that I didn't control the fulfillment. So we would go in, we would charge nothing. It's pure performance. We'd fly in, and I would charge 100% of the upfront cash collected that we would do while we were there. So we averaged about $100,000 in cash collected in 21 days. And that's what we would average per gym that we'd come into.
So that means each gym is making an incremental 100 grand a month from your
So if I were launching 8 gyms in 1 month, we would make $800,000. We would.
Got it.
Right.
Oh, and this was when the model before you were like
exactly
doing gym launch.
And so what ended up happening though was like, and it started scaling really quick. I was like, fuck, this is the game. Like, this is what I need to be doing. This is awesome. And they didn't have to spend money on ads. They did literally nothing. They gave me a place to go market and sell is basically what happened. And so what happens, we would dip out. And then all these customers that we sold would then be fulfilled by a facility that was struggling, because that's why they called us. So they typically had pretty poor product, and I didn't have the bandwidth to stay there for 6 weeks on top of that and retrain trainers and show them how to set up. Like, I didn't have the time to do it because we were marketing, selling most times we were there. And so anyways, we would fly out, and then what happened in an unfortunate percentage, they basically were like, hey, you signed up and paid this guy $500. I would give you the same thing for $200, refund with him, and just sign up and I'll do everything through me. And so within a matter of months, I had like $150,000 in refunds between like 3 facilities because they talked to each other. And then I was like, fuck.
Yeah.
And I already incurred the cost of the marketing, the flight, the sales guy, the hotel, the rental car, everything.
What was the name of this gym franchise?
It was Gym Launch. It was Gym Launch.
Okay.
But I'll tell you this, the original concept was Gym Rescue. It's like bar rescue. That was kind of the idea.
But you said gym owners didn't want to be rescued.
Bingo. So it's who doesn't want to get launched though, right? So it's Gym Launch even though you're already open. And so nice branding switch. And so anyways, we were like, okay, this is not the model. Something's wrong here. So I had to basically keep selling more every month to cover the refunds from the month before. It was horrible, very stressful. And so my wife had a little side training business that she had kept. She was doing like $3,000 or $4,000 a month. And I was like, you know what? Screw the gym thing. We know how to sell weight loss, direct to consumer. That's what we're good at. I was like, why don't you become the face? I'll go in the back and I'll just run I'll run the acquisition side and we'll sell like 16-week transformations just over the phone. And so we started doing that.
That doesn't seem like a good idea, does it? Right?
I mean, it started working. 14 days, we were doing $1,000 a day, switching it. And
I just would have thought it was so crowded.
We're good. Like, we're good at that. You know what I mean? Like, that space we understand very well. And so we were able to do that. And I was like, all right, the 8 sales guys can come in. We can do 8,000 a day selling these, like the transformation programs. Great. And so I had 8 gyms that were supposed to launch the next month. And so I called them up and I was like, hey, we're not doing the thing that we were doing before. You didn't pay us anything. So best of luck. You know what I mean? Basically, that was kind of what it is. And then, the first guy was like, dude, I just refinanced my house. I just maxed out my credit cards. Like,